Hello everyone, my name is Hisham. I'm the owner of Clemson Aeronautics, where we make the riveting and dimpling systems. Today there is a few items to be taken care of in the left and right elevator, and more so on the left than it is on the right, in the area of that box where the trim motor is going to be and stuff. I like to have my place a little bit clean and neat as far as my work area is concerned. That's why I have this rug that I got from Home Depot. I think it was like 6 by 8, one piece, and I cut it in half and put one half on this table, the other half on the other table. Every once in a while, there's chips, aluminum chips and stuff falls on it, and I try to take care of it so it wouldn't scratch the other pieces and so forth. Now, my little pieces are all over the place. I put the long pieces down here, the skin is down here. Now, there's these little pieces also that I don't want to lose with the ribs and so forth. So I decided not to just put them down there like that. I was going to put them in a box. So I was going around the shop and looking for a box. I found a box for the left side, and when I found the box for the right side, I looked at it and there is 2 metal staples down there. So I just wanted to make note, if you ever decide to do the same thing like I'm doing, get a box and put your parts in, your aluminum parts in it, make sure it doesn't have any staples in it so it would scratch your parts. That would not be very good, especially after you already primed them and everything. So this is what I'm gonna do right now, and we're gonna get started on the next step. I read just a little bit, and there is a few explanations to explain about what we're about to do. Now, page 0911, bottom right corner, talking about E1410 trim access reinforcement doubler and E1411 reinforcement doubler brace. These 2 parts. I brought them in, I cleaned up my table, and I brought in the bottom skin of my left elevator on the right side, and with these 2 pieces here, so we can work on those. So we're going to be dimpling a number 27 hole, which is going to be for the nut plate that's going on. You're gonna see it in the next page. Of course, you're gonna look for a number 27 dimple die, and you're not gonna find one, folks. It's for a number 6 screw, and boy, I'm doing a lot of advertisement for Cleveland aircraft tools. And so a thank you note from you guys would be nice, you know. Guys, I don't take any money from Cleveland Tools. I pay for my tools with them just like you do. So I'm just telling you the kind of tools that I am using, where I got them from, so you would know. But it is the number 6 screw dimple die. Okay? So, and that's what we got over here. So how do we set it up? We set up our, now this is advertisement for me. My longeron yoke, nice and thick. We put our dimple dies in there, make sure it doesn't close, and then we twist till it closes really tight while I'm holding it up. Then we let go. Then we make another half turn. We just come up really slow, and we see the flats. We're gonna bring them like half turn. Now it's ready to dimple. Now, we want to make sure that we're dimpling correctly. I mean, the correct side. Now, this is the bottom skin. This is going to sit on the bottom. So, and in this page here, it tells you flush on the bottom. So, let's take one of those holes, and it will be flush on the bottom. The male die is on the bottom. The female is on the top. We put this in the hole. And this is what it's supposed to look like. I'm going to go ahead and check it with a screw. Now folks, I checked it with the screw and it looks really nice. But the thing is that you have to understand, there is obviously a plate that's going to be on here. And that plate itself will have a dimple in it. Then you're going to go through one dimple, through the other, through the nut plate with that screw. So, but it is the shape of this screw, and we checked it out, and it's really nice. So it's gonna work out real nice. So I'm gonna finish dimpling all 7 of them. There is 7 on here, and there's 2 on here. So let me just do this 2 here. 1, 2. Tell you what, I want to be done with this so I can go home today. Now all 7 holes are dimpled, flush on the bottom. This one is done, flush on the bottom. I brought this up because in this page, after it talks about dimpling this one, the number 27, and then it says dimple the number 40 holes in this one. Then it brings you back to this one, says dimple the number 27 and number 40 holes in this one. We're set up to do the number 27. Let's finish them up for both pieces, then we'll switch over to the number 40 and finish dimpling the rest. Now it's time to do the number 40 holes. Before I do, I need to let you know about something. This is the number 40 female dimple die, okay? And it's gonna be from here. So be careful. If you use the full size dimple die on these holes right next to where the nut plates is gonna go, you're gonna be crushing that dimple that you just created, that number 27, which is the number 6 dimple die that you just used. So you need to use the reduced diameter dimple die, female dimple die. Actually, same thing when it comes to the holes that's close to the edge. Maybe not this one. This one is very close if you look at it. Watch out for this big one, guys. Use the reduced female dimple die on the number 40 holes. Folks, I guess I'm trying to warn you about something that I noticed over here. These holes here are very close to the edge. And you have to maneuver this thing somehow or another. But if you look closely, if that lip here, the side, got caught on this flange right here, and you start doing this number, you can crush it. So make sure you are clearing that flange with your tool, with your yoke, before you start pressing down, and you could accidentally crush that flange. So be careful. I don't know if we go from this side. No, there's not enough room to do that. So you have to go in from this side like this, but make sure you're perpendicular on it to be able to clear the yoke itself while you're coming down. Folks, I'm sorry. I thought it is necessary to add a small clip, to add a little bit of explanation about this last clip that you just saw, to avoid crushing the flange on this piece that I'm working on. You can reverse the die. In other words, put the male die in the yoke and put the female die in the squeezer pin. That way the female die is about the same diameter as the pin of the squeezer, and then you have to enter the hole from the other side with the male die and approach it with the female die from the squeezer pin. So that's another solution for this problem, just to make sure you're not going to crush the flange on this piece. And this is a technique also you can use in other pieces. I'm sure you're going to run into something similar in your build. So now we finished dimpling all of those pieces right here, and when we go to the next page, you will find it's talking about the front and rear spar of the of these elevators, and what they're talking about is saying that after all these dimpling that we've done, the flange angle, they want us to check the flange angle, that it is 96 degrees on this side and 84 on the other side. I will try to see if I can check this. On the same page here, 9-12, we're talking about the rivet nuts, and they want us to dimple them, and they said refer to 5.16 more information about dimpling the rivet nuts. It's on page 5-15. So, and it basically, from what I understood, it's just use a reduced female die to do this, or you're gonna hit the side of this. Now, since I already had this set up and I was doing the number 40 hole, so let's see what it's going to do here. Here's one side. Here's the other side. And here is our plate to check. Just take the rivet nut that we just dimpled and we put it on there. It kind of rocks a little bit, but I think this is how it's supposed to be. Once it's riveted, it will be fastened into place pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the other 6. Then it talks about riveting only 5 of them. Those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Said not to rivet those. Now I'm going to be priming this, so I have to prime it before I rivet this rivet nut. So at this point I am going to just dimple those and wait till I prime both parts. And obviously the waiting part, I think it's because this has to go here, and then when you put the rivet nut, you'll be like riveting both plates together through the rivet nut also. That's what I think it's going to be. If we go move down to the bottom of page 912, we're talking about those parts right here. Elevator trim push rod. And I honestly don't remember which bag I got them out of, because I had it in another Ziploc bag. But the part that's after that, trim tab horns, is these 2 parts, which is E918 and E917, and it needs a little bit of fabrication work. I found those in bag, and it's numbered 1903-2. Oh, the next piece here is E-01401AB, and we have to separate these on the saw. And before we do, we're supposed to label them with the correct label that's on the drawing here. One will be a left, and one would be a right, and one would be like the center one. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I separated all the parts on the bandsaw, and as you can tell, they are very rough to begin with the from the punch and everything. You have to be really extra careful while you're doing it on the bandsaw because it's very close quarters, so be careful with that. And if you are going to use the buffing wheel to do this, which probably you are, you have to be really careful because you're going to get it really hot really fast, and that would anneal this type of aluminum. This is hard aluminum, and you don't want that. So I might have to use the file primarily to get this hard part, that rough part, to clean that up first, then do the edges on the buffing wheel. And we are going to do that tomorrow, and hopefully with those two, this requires a little bit of fabrication and measuring and stuff like that. Folks, if you like our videos, please click the like button. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe, and tell other folks about our channel so they can join us too. If they're building an RV, they might want to buy some of our equipment that would help them throughout their build. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.